Hi, this is James Zap from the Dapper Den Barbershop in Ridgefield, Connecticut, and today we have Tommy. What's up? Alright, Tommy, what are we going to do today?
We're going to do a fade, I think. I like a 1 to 1.5 on the top. Like a hard part right here, and then leave the top a little longer, if you don't mind.
Okay, then you want to blend it in on this side here?
Yeah, blend it in, please.
Okay, so you want a tight, hard part, fade. You want me to taper out the back?
Please.
Okay. What are we going to do about the beard?
If you can just trim underneath here, line it up, maybe even up top a little bit. It's not too bad, but if you want to just fix it up.
You want to make it like sharper?
Yeah,
you
sharper.
Have a sharp beard.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to have a sharp beard and do the haircut.
Sweet,
okay,
let's
cool.
get it.
Awesome. Is it alright if we go with the 2 up on top?
Yeah.
I might blend it in. So what I usually do with whatever number that they say, and this is just my preference for the way I work, is like he said he wants a 1 to a 1.5. I'm still going to do a 2 up at the top. That just gives me a little room to play with in case I want to bring a 1.5 or I go way too high with the 1.5 and now it's just a really, really high and tight as opposed to kind of like a mid fade. So I'm gonna start with the 2 clip. I'm using the Wall premium clips. If you have a Wall and you haven't checked these out yet, give these a try. They are fantastic. And I'm also using a Magic Clip cordless as well. So first things first.
10 minutes.
10-minute disinfectant. So now I've done a hard part for a couple videos in the past. Some people were complaining, why did I go that high with the clip? This is just how I learned how to do hard parts. I like the part to be hard and separated, so I bring my clip all the way up. I don't want it to be squared off because I think there's gonna be too much hair hanging out. So again, I take my clip, I take the last tooth, and I run it right against that part, the way it is. Keep going up with it, and I get the rest of this stuff out of the way. So it does look like I'm kind of going up into this. I'm pulling off before this even hits the long part of the hair right there. So I'm just going around the whole entire head with the 2 guard on. All right, so now we get to this part that's gonna be blended in. What I'm gonna do is I'm going up and I'm kind of pulling off. So I'm just getting enough until I hear that clipper hit. It's going to blend in very nicely. And again, I started with a 2 because he does want to do a 1 to a 1.5, and I give myself some room to play with right now. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my 1 guard, also the premium guard as well. And I'm going to start doing my mid fade. Now I like to do my mid fade. I like to start shallower and work my way up. Some people like a mid fade up here right at the temple. I just kind of start right at the eyebrow. At the eyebrow, we're going back like this. Again, what this does, it gives me room to play with. So if I want to move the fade up more, I can. But if the fade's already too high, and I don't want to move it up anymore. So Tommy is in a, you turn that down like a bit.
He keeps turning it up.
Yeah, I'm turning it up. I can't hear a damn thing I'm saying.
Yeah. We're not known for our haircuts. We're known for our music, okay?
Best
music in town.
All right, so I'm just going around the entire haircut right now with the 1 and establishing my base guideline right now. So I have my top guideline, now I'm establishing my base. So Tommy is in a New Orleans style 2nd line brass band, right?
Yeah, it's like that blend of that hip hop and funk.
Hip hop and funk, and he has, I've known Tommy for years.
Since we were about like 6 or 5.
Yeah, so he has played in, what'd you play? You played Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
You played with Dispatch.
Yeah.
You played
Ridgefield Playhouse.
Yeah.
Shout out.
So he's played out a lot of places.
Lucky to play a few cool spots.
So the point of all that is Tommy's always got to be looking fresh up on stage. He always needs a good tight haircut. So you can tell that this clip, it doesn't really look like we're doing much of a haircut, but he wants to keep it consistent. So Tommy, how often do you come in for a haircut?
I would say like once every 3 to 4 weeks.
So 3 to 4 weeks is, I think, around average. Sometimes
it's just usually
5.
Yeah. Usually when I can fit it in the schedule, that's like a good cycle, I think.
Right.
With what my hair grows at.
I know that we have a couple clients that come in that get haircuts every 4 to 5 weeks. Let me know what you think in the comments. How often do your clients, if you are a barber, come in to get a haircut, or if you're just a client, how often do you go in to get your haircut? I know we have some people that go in every 2 weeks, every week. All right, so now we're gonna take our clip. We have a pretty good baseline going around here. So we're gonna take our clip and we're gonna open it up just a little bit. I'm pulling and stretching the skin. I'm only going up about, geez, a millimeter or so on his head. So one thing you notice about his hair, it's growing this way. So when I start going like this, it's not really cutting that much. So I gotta go against it in the direction that it's going. So I'm kind of keep going with it. Again, the hair's going this direction, so I'm gonna go against it. So now I'm opening it pretty much all the way right now. So this is the equivalent to about a 1.5. So I know I'm moving pretty fast, but if you look at the clipper, I'm actually going up and I'm hitting the line and I'm pulling off. And that's what's helping me create my fade. If I just went straight up with it, it's gonna create a hard line, which you don't want, which is gonna be more difficult to get out. And then you start moving your fade higher and higher and higher. Also got a question for the barbers out there. I'm not sure if you've noticed this ever with barbers like that are just in school and stuff like that. When people sit there and they slowly kind of like just keep like hitting it, and hitting it. I prefer to just keep moving the whole time.
I think you should stay in one place. I know I like to cut. I stay in one place and I move the chair and I use the mirror for myself. Is that too much? But I mean, I like to move around. I like to move around back and forth. I don't like to stay in one area because then if I stay in one area, it pretty much irritates the skin. So I'm trying not to irritate the customer as much as possible.
I look at it as like if I'm going into one spot the whole time, I feel like I'm focusing so much on that.
Well, you
and then one part might be, I could raise the line up too much if I kind of screw
raise that line. You want to do like a continuous line, all the way around.
Across. Right. But remember, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Never has to be perfect.
Never has to be perfect. Jared Gilbert, 2020. So now I'm switching to this guard, which is awesome. They sell them separately, but not in the kit. This is a 1.5 wall guide. So I'm gonna put this on now. You just get my true 1.5 clip. Going up, make sure I got everything. Don't hear anything cutting, which is good. Now I'm gonna open it up a little bit. Again, his hair's growing that way, so I'm trying to work with it. Again, I'm still always moving. Now, this technique might not work for you. It's worked for me. It's worked for Jared. It was how I was taught how to cut hair, and it works out better. You know, I think I can give a pretty good quality cut for a fade, moving faster, get the next person in the chair. You know, then open it up just a little bit more. Now, one thing I'll do is I'll actually use the mirror for myself. This is something I think barbers should use. Obviously, the client always wants to see their haircut and see what's happening all the time. But at one point, it's nice to use the mirror for yourself. So I can turn this around and I can start seeing maybe spots that I missed. I'm seeing different lights. So I'm seeing some stuff right around here that's a little heavy. And I'm seeing spots right around here that are a little heavy. So I can go back there and start figuring out which clips I need to use. So right now when I have this, for me, this technique works that I started with the 2 because now that if I have this line right here, if I screw up and I bring the line too high, I still have the 1.5 because I still have this 2 up here. I want to try to keep, if you're okay with it, I'd like to keep the 2.
Yeah, it looks great. I think it looks great.
All right, so I'm going to try to keep the 2 up there. Yeah. But again, I do have some time to work with. This technique works for me. I know there are some barbers out there that can bang this cut out in like 5 minutes, a 1 to a 2 fade, a 1 to a 1.5 fade, no problem. This is just what works for me and might work for you if you want to try it, maybe not. If you're just starting out or something like that, that might be something to look into. So now I'm going to start switching up. To get this line out, I'm actually going to go to my 1 clip. So right now what I'm going to do to get this line out and this heaviness is I'm going to put my 1 clip on. I'm going to have it fully open, so it's 1.5. And I'm going to start fading down or up to down. I was fading down to up, but now I want to start using this. So I'm using it fully open. Hearing a little bit up there. Now I'm just going to close it a little bit. Now I know it looks like to a lot of people like I'm going super high with that, but by the time I'm up there, like my clip is way off. That's just the way that my technique works. And I'm going to like just about hear some hair being cut, and then I'm pulling right off.
Always pull off.
A little bit lower. Okay, back open. Just want to get some of that chunkiness out right now. You don't like chunk.
No, like chunk.
Don't like chunk.
We don't like the chunk.
All right, so now I'm gonna start doing a taper. We like the fade so far. I'm gonna do a little more work up here and obviously hit the top and the hard part, but I wanna do my taper first before I line them up. So I got a wall half clip on. This is one of my saving graces in cutting anything. So I'm gonna come back here, and you can also see how he's got a W right here. Or an M, however you wanna look at it. W? Yeah, W if you're looking at it like that.
W, I'm not.
M?
M.
You let me know in the comments what you think that is, a W and M?
Zoom in on that.
Zoom in on this.
Is that an M?
M, a W.
W.
All right, so anyway, we're gonna try to get rid of this whole thing. So I'm gonna bring my taper pretty much up to about pretty high. Because I'm gonna skin this out at the end. Yeah, I'm stretching the skin, kind of massaging it out.
Feels great.
Open it up a bit. Again, always gonna check in the mirror, which I like the way that looks right now. So what I'm gonna do to get this WM XYZ, whatever the hell you wanna call it, I'm gonna take this clipper, after I disinfect it,
10 minutes.
all right, so basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this, but I'm gonna pull off as I'm going up. So I'm going against it, and I'm pulling off pretty much when I hit that area right there, because that's all of our half. I'm gonna get this out of the way. Just skim that out. So now I'm gonna start doing my outline, which I know I talked in the last video that I did. I was like, what's your order of doing an outline? Thanks for everybody that got back to me on that. A lot of people said the same thing. They do their outline right after the haircut, or some people said that they do their outline very last. Again, so I like to do mine right after I do my sides. So while I'm over here, I am gonna hit up the beard because I know what I'm gonna do with the beard. I'm gonna do pretty much a straight line down, then I'm gonna go over this as well. So I'm using a Andis T-liner that I skeletoned out. If you haven't tried this yet, look up some videos online on how to do this. This is gonna be very helpful for you. I'm just tapping that line and pulling off. Tapping the line, pulling off.
Just tap it in.
So to quote my boss, it doesn't have to be perfect because I'm gonna go in there with a razor and really tighten that thing up. I'm just giving myself a guideline. And you can really start to notice the benefit of a skeleton, because you see how my blade is getting in there, and I can actually see what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna try to do it lightly so I'm not irritating the hell out of him right now. Turn it off. I can actually see where my blade is going. I don't have all this bulkiness right here that's gonna get in the way of me seeing something. So if you haven't skeletonized any of your Andis T-liners, or if you use one, give it a shot. I think you might like it. It's not hard to do. Pretty sure you will avoid the...
Less. Suck less! You suck!
Oh my God.
Dude, Artie Parmes! Artie Parme alert! Artie Parmes!
Okay, so now we're gonna start on the top of the hair right now. Just gonna get it nice and wet. He wants to keep a lot of length on top, you said, right?
I like to keep it longer up there, yeah.
All right, so now we're gonna start with our shears. Again, as we always use our Hattori Hanzo scissors. And I'm just gonna start going up and do some scissor over comb. Just making sure I got all of that hit. Now you can see there's a little part right here
Cowlick.
with the cowlick that's spiking up just a bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in there very, very carefully with my scissors and just try to shear that down just a bit so it's not gonna stick up too much.
I wonder why they call it the cowlick.
Because it looks like a cow licked the back of your head.
Wow.
So now he wants to keep a lot of length on top. So I am going through it right now, and I'm just kind of hitting the tips to get all those dead ends or split ends and stuff off. He's got a good amount up in the front that he's got up there, so I'm just gonna try to get rid of those and just clean it up just a bit with still keeping the length right now. One thing I will do is I will check it to this side. And just kind of do those tips.
Oh, so you make it even?
So you already see the haircut's really starting to take some shape here right now, but I do want to go into it with my shears right now. So I'm gonna go into this now with my thinning shears, texturizing shears, whatever you like to call them. Some people say, like, why would you want to thin hair out that, you know, when it doesn't need to be thin? But the thing is, I'm not using this to thin the hair, I'm using it to texturize it so it looks a little bit choppy, and when you see that and you perceive it as blended in. At least that's what I have found has worked for me. Let me know, do you use thinning shears or texturizing shears to blend in your haircuts as well? Let me know. Also, I'd like to give a big shout out to Matt from 1981 Inventions. If you're a guitar player, check out their pedals. This was not paid for by anything. I just do really love these guitar pedals.
He plays guitar.
Poorly. So I'm just going through the whole thing. I'm just kind of hitting just the tips on that. I'm gonna go through the whole thing and just get all of those so when it comes over, it blends really, really nicely. Same thing on the back here. These are a little bit too blunt of cuts because I hit them with a straight razor right now, so it's gonna leave a straight line across. So if I hit it with this, it's not gonna leave a straight line. So I'll go across it because that's where he's gonna style his hair back. All right, so then we'll go back. I don't necessarily think it needs it that much, but I do just want to make sure that that's going to be blended out, especially when it grows back. I want to make sure that it's blended out. So I'll hit him with these shears now, which are a little bit bigger of shears, and just go in there and just kind of make sure the whole thing is blended very nicely. All right, good. All right, so now we're gonna start working on the beard right now. So, Tommy, how long have you been coming here for a while, right?
Yeah.
About a year?
Yeah, about a year.
So, Tommy's beard is much different than mine in terms of that, you know.
It is?
A little bit, a little bit. He can still grow facial hair, but it's just not as much facial hair that's on mine.
It doesn't accumulate.
It doesn't accumulate as well, correct. So, what we wanna do is we're just gonna kind of give him sharp, sharp lines here to make the beard kind of stick out from that. All right, so first I'm gonna try to find a good neckline. You relax your face, relax your face. So I'm gonna try to find this right here. I usually like to do about, you know, 1 finger's length above the Adam's apple. So I'll find that. I'm just gonna start going up with it. So I have seen some barbershops use fibers on the beard. We don't necessarily specialize in doing fibers on people's hair at all. It does work, but I don't think it doesn't last very long. If you got a night out or you got a weekend out or something like that, the fibers might be a way to go. But in this case, we're not going to do that. We're just going to work with what he's got. What I'm doing with the mustache right now is I'm just having him stretch out his mouth a bit so I can just tap the top of that. I don't want to take off too much. I want to leave it pretty much as natural as possible, and we're going to hit it with the blade later. One thing also when I'm doing this, I've always got my hand rested on this, so I'm not just kind of like going in regular. I got my hand rested. I've got a steady hold. All right, so we just kind of outlined Tommy's beard a little bit. We also did a little bit of fading up into this, kind of make it blend a little bit nicer. Now we got a hot towel. We're gonna test it on our arms, make sure it's not too hot. It's pretty good. Chin up. Very good. Is that too hot?
No?
All right, good.
Feels awesome.
Still good?
Oh yeah.
All right, good. Now just relax. So the hot towel now is just gonna open up the pores like we usually do. It's gonna make it a lot easier to shave. I know a lot of people talk about shaving in the shower. This is pretty much not equivalent to the same thing, but it's still opening up your pores a little bit, just as the hot water does when you're in the shower. So this is going on. We get my blade and everything ready, and then we're gonna shave. Okay, so right now, we just took a hot towel off. I got my razor ready. I used disposable blade. I'm gonna be using some shaving gel right now. This is just gonna help.
Smells nice.
It's earth.
Earthy.
So now what I'm doing is stretching the skin, and I'm pretty much just gonna go just until that line and just tap it. Same thing, going around, just tapping that line just a bit so you can see how this is. And this is where the fibers we were talking about would come in handy, because that would fill this line out really nicely. So right now I'm kind of getting my outline going right now. I am going to go over this with a dry shave, which is going to give it a much tighter line. I use the, I just use your standard Derby blades here. They come in a green box. They work for me. Nice and disposables. The blade I'm using is a much heavier blade, which I like a lot. Jared likes to use a lighter blade, right? Mm-hmm. Use lighter blade. Hopefully Beardbrand will come out with some straight razors we can use. Maybe the Dapper Den edition of
I second that.
Blades. That'd be very nice. But so yeah, I'm still going on with my whole thing here. One thing I am going to do is I am going to lift him up eventually, and I am going to take a look at the lines and make sure that they are perfect. Neck, I'm looking to see which way the hair grows. So I can see the hair is growing up, up, and up. So I want to go with the grain right now to try not to irritate him. Also, another thing you'll notice about him, I've got his head pressed against my chest and my forearm right now, so he's not going to move.
Feels so secure.
That's the thing, you want him to feel like secure that he's not going to move. So make sure that you can kind of practice that, or however you hold your client. Make sure you tenderly hold him too.
Don't make me laugh with this razor at your my neck.
I think it'll be fun. Again, I'm doing the same thing. I'm just going right up to that line, stretching the skin, tapping that line. You can see he does have a little bit of a blemish right there. You gotta be very careful about that. Try to go around it as much as possible. Take your time. Being very sensitive about the Adam's apple here, taking my time. We just finished up the beard trim. If you could take a look at that, TJ, if you want to get on that. You can kind of see how we did a dry shave right after also. So we took a blade, we did a new blade on top of that, and we kind of just went up right against that right there. So we got a couple lines right there. It's really kind of accenting his entire beard right now that he has. So if you do have a short beard or you can't grow that much, try keeping the beard really well trimmed, tight to the face, and do really sharp lines. It'll still accent the beard a lot better, and make it look really good. So right now we're gonna start working on his hair.
How about that jawline?
How about that jawline? All right, so he likes a natural look, so we are gonna use some tea tree sea salt spray.
That's good stuff right there.
So we're just gonna spray this in.
I use, what's the pomade kind of stuff?
Oh, the styling balm you use.
Yeah, I use that. That's awesome.
All right, so we're gonna use this. We're gonna put it in. Now for hair, I usually use a flat comb or any kind of comb. With beards, I'll use a round brush to get the beard to fall down more. I like this on hair more, so we're gonna comb it through. We're gonna hit it with some medium heat and comb it in the direction that we want to go. Like the way it looks, yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna put a little tiny bit of styling balm in there, which you can use on hair. Has a nice matte finish to it. I'm gonna warm it up with my hands first. I'm just gonna kind of work it through the hair. Now because I blow dry it this way, blow dried it.
I don't know what the past tense of blow dry is.
Blow dry. Let me know in the comments, is it blow dry or blue dry?
He blew it already.
I blew it already. It's been blown.
It's been blown.
So I'm just gonna kind of work it through the entire hair, but because it was blow dried, blue dry already, it's still gonna go this way. So I'm gonna work it through, and then I'm just gonna run a comb straight through.
Tight.
So now the last thing I do, and I do this every time with all my haircuts, the last thing I do is the hard part. Now move his head towards me, because now the part is gonna be very exposed. I'm just gonna tap that line with a T-liner. Now it's coming out pretty well. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna hit it with a straight razor. So just gonna use a little bit of gel right here. We're pulling the skin, but we're pulling the skin with the hair right now. And we're just lightly tapping that line. Like the way that looks. We're gonna comb through it in case I got any hairs caught in the hard part. Tell me, what do you think?
Yo, that's a sweet cut.
Yeah, all right, man. You like it? Good.
Fresh cut.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Dope,
thanks, man.
No problem, man.
I won't let anyone else touch my hair.
All right, thank you from the Dapper Den.
All right, guys, stop. Before you watch our next video, let me tell you, our sea salt spray. This product is amazing for your hair. It gives movable texture. It's like a dry shampoo, so if you go in between days of washing your hair, it'll help your hair extend a little bit longer, and it smells absolutely amazing. Find it over at beardbrand.com.